high school sports fans. Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Connetquot High School. It's a rematch of the 2023 semifinals as the Bulls from Smithtown East make the short trip to Bohemia to take on the T-Birds of Connetquot. It's all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Suffolk Class A quarterfinals. Oh, we welcome you inside the booth here. We're relatively warm. Are we warm? Or Dylan Butler, Brian Soper here with you. A lot of threats about the weather and a nor'easter coming through. Right now it's chilly, right? It feels more like early season lacrosse, but definitely we're going to be treated to a fun matchup. This is the 4-5 game, Smithtown, Connetquot. The T-Birds won the regular season matchup, first playoff matchup since the Bulls came here 2 years ago to upset the top-seeded T-Birds of Connetquot. So a lot of storylines coming into this one.
It's playoff time, you know. It's playoff time, you know, in Suffolk County. This is the time of the year when you know each other, right? You've scouted each other. There's no surprises, but this is where seniors step up. You know, Turricini, right? Guido. Di Maria, Pellegrino, right? These guys got to step up. You know, for someone it's going to be their last game, and for the others, right, they're going to be marching on in this very tough Class A bracket in Suffolk County.
You mentioned the bracket. Let's take a look at it now, and you can see how this all pans out. See Ward Melville against Hills. Hills, of course, the class of Class A this year. Huntington, Comac, and Northport Sachem North. So the winner of this game takes on the winner of Hills against Ward Melville. And when we talk about the Bulls, when we saw them a couple of years ago here with the upset win over Connetquot, they were a really young team. They returned so many of those pieces this year. Guys like Di Maria and James on attack, right? Those guys were a sophomore and a freshman 2 years ago in this matchup. They are seasoned veterans this year, and they've got a team that is playing pretty well right now. They lost to Connetquot in the regular season. That was their last loss, though. They have run the table ever since.
Smithtown's won 5 of their last 6. I think that Hills game really gave them confidence. They had an 8-7 lead in that game, Smithtown, and I think that they've just been building off of that and are peaking at the right time for Coach Huff.
When we take a look at the impact players for Smithtown East, again, some familiar names around St. James, right? Cameron James, the Yale-bound junior, has been around for a few years, and Sean Pellegrino, what a stud he is, the senior captain, defenseman, heading to Manhattan.
Yeah, James, the junior, he has a lethal combination. He's confident, he's skilled with a high lax IQ. That's crazy. 36 goals, 32 assists, balanced. If Connetquot's going to want to win this game, they got to stop James. And Sean Pellegrino, I talked to Coach Matt McFarland. He called him just a huge human. 6'4", 215, committed to Manhattan. He's a disruptor who really is a space eater in a zone that we expect to see today out of the Bulls.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll have the Connetquot players when we return to the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
And back here at Connetquot High School, getting set for this Suffolk Class A quarterfinal. So when we look at Connetquot, 12-4 in the season, but they didn't end the season the way they wanted. But sometimes that's a blessing in disguise, right? It gives you a chance to get back to your basics, right? Maybe get hungrier again. A good week of practice leading into this one for the T-Birds.
Great week of practice. They're recharged, ready to go, according to Coach Jaffairs, right? So they're gonna have to lean on their high-powered offense to get them going today.
And two veterans are going to lean on here today. We'll take a look at them. Our impact player is there. Carson Turricini, the senior, heading for Iona, and Lucas Weaver, the LSM. Look at those numbers on the season as well for Weaver, the senior, going to Lincoln Memorial.
Terracini, 52 goals this year, 50 last year. Rarefied air, right, with Tyler McCarthy. He crossed the 200-point plateau this season. He's a matchup problem, also a 21-point per game hooper. Weaver going to Lincoln Memorial, captain, 32 caused turnovers. Coach says he'll play until he can't breathe.
Let's take a look at the starters. First for Smithtown East. The Bulls come into this one, as we mentioned before, a 10-6 record. DeMaria, James, and Barada is your starting attack line. Ritter, Devlin, and Cracchiola in midfield. They've got a lot of two-way midfielders. So these are guys who are going to stay on the field for a lot. Ress at LSM, Pellegrino, and the Bernhardt boys, Brody and Brock, in front of a really good goalie in Brendan Carroll. Carroll, his coaches say, one of the best around.
Yeah, Carroll, huge lax IQ, going to Drexel, 5'8" lefty, 211 saves as a junior, 159 this year. Was an attackman. He's got attack skills that he brings to the goal.
We'll get the Connetquot starters when we get an opportunity, but we go to the face-off X now, and in white it's A.J. Jaffairs, and in the left it's Jack Reddock, the sophomore. How about Jaffairs? Wasn't supposed to be a face-off guy, trained in the offseason because he knew his team didn't have that, and he wins the opening draw.
Yeah, he's a lefty, right? So he's got to face off right-handed, right? He plays offense, he plays defense, he faces off. Not shocked if Jaffairs drove the bus to the game.
So the T-Birds settled offense to start this one.
Yeah, you see the zone. You see Pellegrino, 6'4", man in the middle.
There's Nick Luca, good-looking sophomore for the T-Birds. They push it up top. A lot of what they want to do offensively, it's initiated from up top.
See it pushing out a little bit on Terracini.
There's Logan Cordes.
Terracini had 5 goals in the first matchup against Smithtown.
Shot clock down to 18. Turricini wins his matchup, feeds.
Now you got 6'4", 6'1", 6'3". It's a real rangy zone.
Rip, and Carroll makes the save on Turricini.
You see his athleticism, 8 double-digit save games for Carroll. Going to need to do that today for a playoff victory.
We go to the other side now as Smithtown East. They're going to go quick. Lefty shot and a goal. It's Luke DeMaria.
Yeah, the senior going to Drexel. It's his 50th goal on the year. Had 30 goals as a junior. 3-year starter. Look at this. Comes off. Nice cut to the ball. Way to run through it to catch it. feed by Cam James, his third assist on the year. Great save by Carroll, great feed by James. Senior buries it. Awesome start for Smithtown.
DeMaria, a 3-year starter, the workhorse. He will play at Drexel.
Both teams play zone. You got to get into those dirty areas. You got to get into the seams. Great hard cut. Caught it on the run. James with a spot feed right into a stick.
And another face-off win for Jaffares. He will play his lacrosse at St. John's University.
He had 4 assists in that first matchup. So Coach McFarland, who's running the defense for Smithtown, definitely wants to shut down Jaffares and Turricini.
Jaffares switches sticks, and he's up top right now. He is a guy who, and you could say it for a few of these Connetquot players, he is not leaving the field.
Yeah, going to St. John's, play for Coach Turry.
And here he is now.
One of the all-time greats at St. John's. Kieran McCardle played at Connetquot.
That's Turricini back up to Jaffares. They'll play catch. Turricini trying to get topside.
You see what Coach Jaffares was telling, like how much they want to run stuff from up top.
Jaffares shoots it wide. Backup wasn't there.
Yeah, good job by the freshman Brock Bernard. Great anticipation on that shot. He's only a freshman, 6'2", 200. He's an offensive skills with the pole are amazing.
I think between the Bernhards and the Bruckbauers, you could practically field an entire lacrosse team.
B to the 6th power.
And that was part of what, as look at this, time and space. You don't give that kind of room for a Cam James to shoot from.
First he gets an assist. Right now his 37th goal is the goal of the year. He's just so confident. You got it. I mean, no one plays him. Nice bounce shot to the 5-hole. Great start for Cam James. Was on the USA U16 team. The kid's known for his ability to both score and feed the rock.
So Jaffares has won both of the opening face-offs, but it's been Smithtown East who has jumped ahead in this one. And Jaffares gets that one as well. Jaffares, the slide comes his way. To Turricini. There's that feed you mentioned, and there's the finish inside. Logan Cordes has given Connetquot their first goal.
Great look from up top. It's Turricini, just threads the needle. Great catch and finish by Logan Cordes. He stepped up, one of the most improved players on the team. Off ball is his game, gets into the seam, good sneak. Great find by Turricini, his 28th assist on the year.
Older brother Tyler, part of championship weekends up in Foxborough with Syracuse, as is Tyler McCarthy, another Connetquot alum. This face-off won cleanly by Reddock. He tried to go quickly. He has the green light to do so.
Yeah, Reddock, a crazy number, 90 ground balls on the year. His ability to scrap it up, scoop the ball, gain possessions for Smithtown.
Here's Brian Devlin out of the box.
This wing area has been a problem so far for the T-Birds.
Ball rolled out to Brody Ritter. Ritter has seen time facing off as well, but Reddock has been hot of late. There's Teddy Barada with the ball.
Yeah, Barada had the last assist to James, feeding from X. Now he's up top. It's a little more pressure to this zone here.
Step down shot, Di Maria. That's wide.
Yeah, Di Maria going to Drexel. Gonna go with Carroll. Maybe they'll be roommates.
Feed in front. It's popped up in the air. That's a loose ball, and it will be Connetquot ball.
Yeah, James tried to feed the crease there. Good job by the T-Bird defense to get some checks on some hands.
There's Tyler Blandina, one of a lot of really good-looking sophomores for this team.
29 goals for him, back from St. Anthony's. Kind of that old school, kind of throwback midfielder.
That's the thing that Brett Jaffer says, right? Like, he loves the leadership he has on this senior group. And he said collectively he's not had a harder working team in his time here as head coach, but the future is very bright between the sophomores, the freshmen, even some 8th graders. Look at Jaffers!
It's not fair when he gets downhill. The left-handed says, I'm not going to go out like that. Way to get him started. Just splits the zone. What zone? Zone buster. Who are you going to call? Jaffers. Got to be physical. Coach McFarland's gonna let him know about that.
It's a good job by Connetquot. You give up the first 2 goals, rally back, and tie this one at 2.
Jaffers is really going to help St. John's. St. John's, 4 wins this year, but massive improvement, and he's really going to help them.
This one's still loose. And it will go to Smithtown East.
Yeah, you see
GD by Ritter.
See Weaver just harassing the ball.
And there's a knockdown.
Yeah, Faraka, football QB with an interception.
Now some numbers the other way. It's Blandina.
That's something on both sides. Curious to see. Both teams like to play zone. The last thing you want to do is let them set up in it. So let's see if either team can get some transition.
It has that feel, at least early on, Soap, and it's understandable. It's a playoff game, right? Like kind of feeling each other out right now. Kick up top, Jaffers. The look down low. The second opportunity. That's fired just over the net. Looked like that was Blandina.
A good handle by him. That middle of that zone, right? We've seen it. Smithtown's going to want to be a little more physical in there. Swing the sticks, slide the collide.
Terracini loses it. And now it's a scramble.
A good job by Brody Ritter, the senior, going to Florida Southern. Future Mock.
Unable to clear, though, as Blandina has it back.
Yeah, he can run all day. You see the physicality. Great ride back.
Blandina splits defenders, spins again.
Failed clear for Smithtown. Something that they don't really like. Their poles can really handle. They take pride in their ability to get the ball out.
And so can Carroll, right? The former attackman as well. Low to high. There is Carroll with the save on Jaffers.
Just smooth, great hands. You see that. He played some attack early on in his career as a kid. You see it with the hands. Not the biggest guy in the world, but just super tough. Battled some injuries this year. Been rock solid for the Bulls.
And that's another one that was on the ground, taken away by Connetquot as Michael Pahorlik came up with it. Some sloppy play on both sides now as another failed clear. This time for Connetquot, and it will be Smithtown ball.
Good ride, Teddy Barada. Nice time check on the hands. Led to a failed clear out of bounds. Barada's had really good chemistry all year with James. We saw it on that second goal. Barada's dad played lacrosse at Towson. Real good IQ.
There he is.
Again, you see the zone. You see they're passing off players on any carry. Got to get into those seams, move it quick.
The skip, low to low, and Stellwagen with the save, his first of this game.
Yeah, Stellwagen's had a great senior year, 162 saves, well over 50%, taking his talents to St. Leo. Coach Jaffer says, you know, his outside saves allow us to play the zones that we want. Needs to have a big game today.
So Jaffer gets the clear, and now Connetquot has that fresh 60 on the shot clock. Just underway here. It's tied at 2. It's a Suffolk Class A quarterfinal.
See Campbell, Cracchiola out on top. I think that spot's really important. Those high short stick spots are going to be real important because you see how Connetquot wants to attack the top.
And Blandino was tied up, tried to get it to Jaffer's, and it's taken away. Here comes Devlin the other way. You mentioned Cracchiola. Spent his time before as the feed goes in front, and it is Barada with the finish.
Great job by Pellegrino getting out in the ride. All these poles for Smithtown can really handle the ball. Great sneak by Barada. Great find, great finish. That's Teddy's 26th goal on the year.
Yeah, you mentioned Pellegrino going and pushing it, and really all of the poles have the green light. All these guys, they've played box before, right? So they've got those skills with their sticks. And when you look at the numbers, I mean, the numbers that you see from like the close D and goals and assists, that's like some first midfield lines.
Yeah, Pellegrino 8 goals now. He has 4 assists on the year. Manhattan's getting a good one. Good hustle by Logan Scanlon, the junior, hustling back. Stock's been rising over the past few games. Those spots are really important. Those top left and top right short stick positions are really important in this zone as Connetquot wants to attack it from up top.
Kind of like that from Smithtown East, like, you know, showing, giving Connetquot a little taste of what they do as well. Feed up top, little hitch. Jaffer's under pressure, shoots it wide. In on him, you saw Reddock.
Yeah, Troy Ress as well as a sophomore. Plays long stick midi, really aggressive. Coach Huff complimented Coach McFarland, saying Ress has really developed under him. But Coach McFarland said, you know, we have a great goalie, we have length, why not play zone? So far, it's looks good.
Jaffer's. Five in the shot clock. So Connetquot, if they do something here, they're going to have to do it quickly. Inside roll, shot. I think Carroll got a piece. It should be a
good slide by the freshman Brock Bernhard. You know, Coach Huff, he played football and lacrosse at Hofstra. Defensive coordinator Matt McFarland played lacrosse and football at Garden City under Doc, Coach Flatley. It's no wonder they're getting along so well this year. Both football and lacrosse guys through and through.
Good feed as we're approaching the final minute here of the first quarter. James to Devlin. And wide open again, Cam James, his second.
That wing area has been given the T-Birds fits. It's pretty simple. You step in, no one's gonna play me. I'm going to Yale, top corner. You know, nice look. It's pretty simple to cross. Brian Devlin finds James, the best player on the team, steps into a seam, hammers it to the top.
So James gets his second, 38th on the year for the 3-year starter. And Smithtown East with their second 2-goal lead of the first quarter. Reddock wins the face-off. And now we have a timeout called by Smithtown East. This is an opportunity for us to show you the starters for Connetquot. We didn't get a chance to show you those guys before the start of this game. We'll do so now. Got Luca Turricini and Fitzgerald. That's two sophomores up on attack along with Turricini. Blandina, Jaffairs, Cordes. LSM we showed you in the open. Weaver. Your defense of Guido, Faraka, and Pahorlik. And in the cage for Connetquot, it's Colton Stellwagen.
Yeah, Stellwagen going to St. Leo. You know, he takes over for Connor Fitzgibbon, who's at Lincoln Memorial. Has had a really great year in the cage as a senior. Following the tradition of great ones at Connetquot, Zach Oliveri was a 2011 All-American, UMass Stony Brook, and Stellwagen has had a great senior year.
The head coach of Connetquot, there he is. Brett Jaffairs, 13th season at the helm, a 1990 graduate of Connetquot, the 2015 Suffolk Coach of the Year. Running the offense this year, has a really good coaching staff as well. Scott Ferguson this year working with the goalies. We've got Mike Berneo in the box, Greg Heller as well with face-offs, Doug Smeraldo at the defensive coordinator, all those guys, Connetquot grads.
I think if you're Connetquot, you know, the last two games, right, you're giving up 17 goals, really looking to tighten things up.
So let's see what Smithtown East has off that timeout. Step down shot, good save by Stellwagen to deny Di Maria.
Coach Ferguson's been doing a good job with him. Stellwagen, right after we talk about him, makes a great off-hip save. Unbelievable quick hands by him. Coach Jorgensen's getting a good one in St. Leo.
Here's Jaffairs now. Final 23 seconds. Loda high! Jaffairs again!
Coach Patino, where are you watching? A three-point shooter. Jaffairs, this is a huge goal for them. Low to high, changes his release point, goes low, slings it high. Great save by Stellwagen. Great goal by Jaffairs. Seniors step up. Big-time goal. Got to win the end of quarters in these playoff games. Good job by the T-Birds.
You mentioned it, right? As soon as he scores, gets his face-off stick, plays offense, defense. You said he's a lefty. He's a captain. He's a workhorse.
Coach's son.
And another face-off win for him.
15.
Low to low, and Carroll makes the save. They go quickly the other way. Smithtown East, the hitch, the shot, Stellwagen the save.
Stellwagen says, Carroll, what you can do, I can do better. Good job, little end-to-end action. That's what we like, a little transition. Let's go, boys.
So 1 quarter in the books.
Pellegrino to Barada. Kid knows what to do, scores goals, fired up. Good start by Smithtown. Maybe a little Momo the T-Bird way.
You're watching the Suffolk Class A quarterfinals in the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a SPORTSCAST today by contacting Varsity Media.
Back at Connetquot High School, look at the huddle there for Smithtown East. And you see in the gray sweatshirt, Coach Huff, his first year as the head coach, but mind you, really kind of a Smithtown legend, right? Where went to Smithtown Central, was an assistant for 14 years under Lou Antonetti. Then he was the head coach for 13 years. And during that time, won a championship with Smithtown, went on to coach at Eastport South Manor. Assistant coaches Matt McFarland, Ray McKenna, Ken Willie as well. McKenna and Willie holdovers from the previous staff, Rob Campbell's previous staff, and that's been key, said Huff, just because he had to get acclimated to who the players were and he doesn't know the youth program, and those guys hugely helpful for him just getting his feet wet.
Yeah, Blandina took that face off for Connetquot, giving Jaffairs a rare break. You know, Coach McFarland called Coach Huff the godfather of Smithtown Lacrosse.
Yeah.
First running back in the history of Hofstra to run for 1,000 yards, Kevin Huff.
Yeah, he is in that Hofstra Hall of Fame.
I think I used to go watch him with the New York Saints when I was a kid.
I think he did. That shot wide of the mark.
And Matt McFarland was an All-American at UMass, All-American at Garden City, U19 USA team, so no shortage of talent on the staff for Smithtown.
It never necessarily was in the books, or at least the thought to return to Smithtown, but you know, things kind of changed a little bit at Eastport South Manor. Went to the Section 11 website, Kevin Huff did, and said, wait a minute, they need a head coach at Smithtown East? Let's go.
Like Jordan wearing the 4-5 coming back. That was a great pickoff. Pahorlik, the sophomore, he really won that third spot down low. You see it there with the pickoff.
Can you imagine if you're Jason Lambert, the Smithtown AD, and you see that email come through?
Yeah, what does that cover letter look like?
Like, my references are like all about Smithtown history. Here's Jaffairs. The kick up top. A shifty move. That's John Nsinga.
Cracchiola is shutting off Terracini here.
Nsinga tries to go high.
So, you know, you're playing zone, you know, a 5-man zone with a shutoff.
Cordes tries the inside roll. Goes the other way. Carroll gets low to make the save.
Great save. You see the lightning quickness by him to explode down low.
His 5th of the game so far.
His lax IQ as a goalie is off the charts. That's what I love. If you're quick, you got great hands, and you study the game, doesn't matter the size, you are going to be great.
Yeah, Kevin Huff was very high on Carroll. And then you got a second opinion as well from McFarland, who also sung his praises.
Yeah, UMass is pretty good at goalies. Matt's played behind some really good ones. You know, and you know, probably the best one from Smithtown, 2014, Brian Balcom was an All-American, played at UNC, over 700 career saves, and Carroll stacks up with the best.
That shot was wide. Good look there at Brody Ritter, heading to Florida Southern. He is that yes, coach, whatever you need guy.
Yeah, Devlin and Ritter going to the Deep South Conference. Coach Marty Ward. Those guys love getting Long Island guys, especially tough two-way gritty guys. Great font, great look.
And the finish inside, the dunk by Di Maria, his second.
Cam James looking like LeBron James behind the net, feeding the rock. Look at that seam. You see him right there, a little spot feed. Looks a little like Spallina behind the net. Searching, there he is. Whoop, great find. Luke Di Maria, future Dragon of Drexel. Knows how to find those seams.
Yeah, 51 now for him. Cam James 2-2 on this game. When these teams last met, you go back to that 2023 semis, James had 3 goals in that one. Di Maria added a pair.
And the interesting thing, in the first loss to them, they had 6 different goal scorers for Smithtown.
It's another face-off win. Smithtown East starting to get some of those back.
Yeah, Smithtown's a team that averages just short of 12 goals a game. Don't let them get hot. Connetquot's last 2 games gave up some goals. So it's kind of like, a little chess match.
Yeah, they lost to Northport 18-10 and then gave up 16 to Lindenhurst. That shot by James was wide.
That seam area, that low wing spot has been giving them problems. Got to really figure that out at halftime.
Invite you to stick around at halftime. We'll have an interview with a Connetquot alum. There's the feed at the crease, but great job. I think that was Pahorlik, right? 99, getting a stick on that one to take it away. At least to impact that feed into the crease.
Yeah, good job, good check. Be physical inside. It's kind of what you want. You're playing zone. You're actually hoping that they try to force feed the crease. We mentioned Brock, but Brody Bernhardt, his brother's a senior going to UMass Lowell. Great size, 6'1", volleyball player, outside hitter.
Getting downhill, that was Turasini. That shot was wide.
Yeah.
When we spoke with Coach Huff, we said, what about that brother combination? That's got to be great, right? He said, it is sometimes, they're together. Huff knows that well, right, with so many brothers in his family. He said sometimes, you're back-to-back fighting for each other. The other times maybe you're fighting each other. You get that sibling rivalry, too, at times.
Yeah, so now they're one-on-one with a 5-man zone behind it.
Turasini tries to get out of it. Somehow does. Gets it to X.
This is Brock on the ball.
Turasini. Jaffers. And a save by Carroll.
Yeah, now they're off to the races. Quick outlet. Get some transition here. This is Brody. Little pass down, pick down.
Now Smithtown East, 2-goal lead. That's kind of been the story, right? They went out 2-0. They were up 4-2, now 5-3.
So Terracini had that skip up to Jaffers. That's what you want. You want to give up those outside shots with a goalie like Carroll.
Talk about outside shots, huh? What a shot by 2-3. Cam James.
Making a living, between the 15 and the 20 on that wing area. Just steps into his shot, snaps it hard. Shooter's got to shoot.
Now the Bulls with their largest lead of this one. Cam James, 3-2. So he's impacted 5 of Smithtown East's 6 goals to this point.
Yeah, the future Bulldog leading the Bulls. You have to choose if he wants Sally's, Pepe's, Modern.
I'm a Pepe's guy myself.
I'm a Sally's all day long.
All right.
But Yale's getting some good ones, right? Berger from Roslyn just committed.
Now Reddock wins it. We're going to go quick. Di Maria, the skip. James.
We've seen two possessions in a row where we've gotten some transition by Smithtown. I think that's how they want to play.
So already with their largest lead, Smithtown East with the ball, trying to tack onto it. There's Brody Ritter. To Di Maria. If you are Connetquot, you've got to find 2-3.
Oh, there he is. Usually between the 10 and the 20.
Yeah. He'll hand off to Barada. Gets it back. The skip, Di Maria, the low shot wide.
Just so fast, right? That's what we're talking about in the open. He has the vision. He has the IQ. He has the ability to shoot the ball. You know, if we're talking basketball, it's like a triple threat. He can kind of do it all out there on the attack.
And now, Soap, I don't know if you're at that point of the game yet where it's like you start talking about musts, but this would be a good have if you are Connetquot. And as soon as I say that, they're offside. But I was going to say, one of those possessions where you kind of need a goal. Here's Di Maria. Oh, great knockdown. Faraka.
Yeah, the football quarterback. We might want to put him on a cornerback, right? His ability to read. Yeah, you're right. Connetquot needs a possession, right? They need an offensive possession where they get a really good look. Their last few looks have been from the outside, gobbled up by Carroll.
There's Devlin, the feed and the finish. Cracciola.
Great little cut against the zone. Find the soft spot, cut. See him flash there. Good job. Too easy if for the defense, but good find by Devlin. Unselfish player. His 16th assist, 29th goal for Cracciola. Now, Cracciola's the junior. He's left-handed. Huge upside. Can see him, you know, getting interest from D1 players, coaches. Right, was a short stick D mid. Also a really good defender. So well-rounded, but great time cut by him.
Didn't get a chance in the open. We'll show you the keys now to this game, Soap, and obviously both identify the face-off X, which has been pretty close to this point. Smithtown East with a +1 in that department.
Control the ball, limit turnovers. They've done a good job with that matchup with their big guns. You see him some shutting on Terracini, mixing it up. Jafar's got off a little bit early, looking to correct that. Connetquot compete at the X. So far, so good. Work for the right shots, right? Maybe want to do a little better job there. Limit turnovers, and they want to ride hard.
We haven't seen that part of it just yet, right? Where
well, the problem is I think some of the saves are really clean, right? So when you get clean saves with a quick outlet from a goalie who can outlet it, you really don't get a chance to set up that ride.
That's the second part of it I was going to say, right, where it's been quick outlets. So you haven't had the chance. There was one time when the shot clock was down to like 5, you could have maybe dumped it and set up your ride, but not the case yet for Connetquot. So back to the face-off X we go. And Reddock has been the hotter of these two in the second quarter.
I just really like how Cracciola found space there. Coach Huff says that's what he's really good at.
Jafars goes backwards. Good job by him. Finds Blandina on the wing. And now possession for Connetquot, a much-needed one.
The Connetquot defense has played a lot of defense lately. I think it's kind of like you want to score here, but you also want to grind out of possession if you're the T-Birds.
Coming downhill. What a kick save. Torresini beat his man, and then Carroll with the save. No backup for Connetquot.
Yeah, Terracini's known as a great shooter. Got to his right hand. He's a matchup problem. But you know who's a problem? 44 in the net for Smithtown. That was a ridiculous off-stick save.
We go pole to pole. That was Troy Ress with the shot. Saved by Stellwagen.
Big save by Stellwagen. They needed that. I don't think you can fall behind 5 here. I think if you're Connetquot, your goal is the next four minutes is to cut this to 2.
And a guy who could help you get there, 2-2, Torresini.
Just physical. Good job by them.
Good patience by Torresini. Carroll the save, and another one as well.
3 for $1.
Denied Blandini twice.
2 in a row. Gave up a rebound. Controlled that. Great ground ball.
Wow. And then a timeout for Smithtown East as well. How about Brody Ritter, man? Getting that GB, making sure possession goes for Smithtown East, and he gets the timeouts. While we're in, here's another look.
Yeah. How about one? Boom, rebound. I'll have another. Nice clean one there. Outlet.
And while we're in Suffolk County today, we're going to have a whole lot of Nassau County playoffs coming up. We will be practically camped out at Stewart Stadium on the campus of Hofstra University. For the boys lacrosse playoffs, we'll be at Matamet Field at Adelphi. For the girls lacrosse playoffs, Farmingdale State College. For baseball, all of that, you have to go to varsitymediapass.com to order. We were already at Hofstra, right, for the St. Anthony's Chaminade game. We'll have a whole lot of playoff lacrosse coming up. This is our first playoff lacrosse game of the season, and Smithtown East has come to play. They've got a 7-3 lead on Connetquot. We mentioned the regular season game. That was back on May 6th. It was an 11-6 win for Connetquot. Terracini with 5, AJ Jaffairs with 1 and 4, Nico Fitzgerald with a couple of goals, Stellwagen 13 saves. On the other side, Cam James 1 and 2, Reddock and Devlin 1 and 1. And Carroll with just 6 saves in that one.
Ritter, nice physical dodge, great ground ball to, before that timeout.
Here's James. The skip, the hitch, the lefty rip, Cracchiola!
Yeah, great find by James. This is 3rd assist. Right-handed assist, little hitch, get to the middle. Unbelievable job by Cracchiola. 9 goals, 15 assists last year. 30th goal on the season for Smithtown. If Campbell Cracchiola gets it going with Di Maria, James, and Barada, look out. The Smithtown offense is tough.
And that's the thing, right? A guy who was kind of exclusively a short stick D-midi previously. Well, he has come out of his shell offensively. Great job by the staff here kind of recognizing that. Reddock, another face-off win.
Yeah, Cracchiola has speed, and he's a really good shooter. And you saw his ability to kind of use a little hitch move to get to his left hand.
And now, if you're a college coach, right, you see the speed, you're thinking a kid who can clear the ball, right? We know he can defend as well. Oh, he's got a little offense in him as well, right? You become so much more versatile now to college programs. So the Bulls are buzzing right now. Here's Cracchiola 7, setting the screen. Devlin 13 and 15 on the year.
So they're shutting off James now at X. Obviously, with 6 points, he's been really hurting them. But now it becomes a 5-on-5 in front of the goal. So you're going to need to look to see Smithtown. The guys have got to win matchups.
Cracchiola beats his, but Stellwagen makes the key save.
Yeah, great save by him. I think if you're Smithtown, you're very happy with that take by Cracchiola. You see the speed, you see the ability to shoot the ball. Perhaps next time you want to change your levels and go down low on Stellwagen.
Here's Blandina. Flag is thrown. I think it was Di Maria who came offside, so he will run back on. They'll defend with 7. It'll be our first man-up opportunity for either team. Terracini, free possession for the T-Birds.
You got to get a little more movement, I think, if you're the T-Bird offense. You're doing a good job drawing 2 or 3 guys on these dodges. Got to almost find these seams.
Save by Carroll, denying Blandina.
See, that's a good take, but it's exactly the defense is funneling them to that angle, and that's a shot that Carroll will eat up all day.
His 10th save of this first half. We mentioned in the regular season game earlier this month, made 6. So the offside means Connetquot will have their first man-up opportunity. It'll be for 30 seconds.
Yeah, Carroll at 16 against Syosset, 19th against Northport, at 18 against Hills, 15 in a big win over Huntington. 8 double-digit saves game. He's already there in the first half.
Here's Jaffairs. They work it to X. Cordes, the kick out, gets the ball back. Little wheel action. Now the skip, good knockdown. And you mentioned the size by Pellegrino. It is obvious there.
Yeah, 6'4". Tough to throw skips over the top of that.
Jaffairs. Good look to the crease, but Blandina unable to get it down.
Good slide. Brock Bernhardt came across, at least disrupted that shot a bit, gave him something to think about. It's a great look.
Turricini on Cracciola. Turricini lowers his shoulder, tries to back him down. Turricini!
Yeah, you don't score 200 points by accident. He just leans in here.
He's posting him up.
You see the double kind of comes to the other side. If you want to slide 9, you want to slide to his strength to that right hand. Might have been, the check might have deflected that or changed the angle of that shot. But Terracini, man, great 1-2 punch with AJ. 6 goals against Melville, 4-1 against Huntington. Seems to play his best against the best competition.
His 53rd of the year.
How about Iona, right? The recruit Long Island assistant Brendan Kavanaugh, Cullen Lynch from Southside, Caden Lewis, Islip, Petito, Comac, Riggs, St. Anthony, Sally Boy from Chaminade, Owen Hickey. The Gales recruit Long Island. Terracini is going to be a great one.
How great was that matchup a moment ago? You had Weaver and Pellegrino battling for it. You go the other way, Di Maria!
You see those poles. Don't let the Bulls poles get out in transition. That's Brody Bernhardt. Look at him, look away. Great sneak by Di Maria. You don't score over 50 goals without the ability to move without it. Great front swing, great find by Brody Bernhardt.
And a big answer there by Smithtown, right? Maybe a juice moment there. You get Turricini scores a goal.
Yeah, you can't match goals if you're the T-Birds. You got to go on a run.
Inside the final 45 seconds. The officials will back up the Smithtown East bench. Reddock, big win, goes back to Carroll. Now an opportunity should Smithtown East want. They can hold here for the last shot of the first half.
Yeah, you know, it's definitely not a must score if you're Smithtown, but it's a must stop if you're Connetquot.
There's Brody Bernhardt. Hand off to Devlin. Devlin took a few whacks from Weaver. Out of the box is Ritter. Ritter swims to his right. Save Stellwagen. Ball's loose in front.
Oh!
Another save by Stellwagen.
He's a wagon. Unbelievable save by him. They needed that in the worst way. The Lacrosse gods were frowning upon him. Gave a wide open look to Brian Devlin. Watch this. Great job coming out of the box. Brody Ritter, what a great first half of him. Little swim, get to his right, rebound, goes up in the air. Whoop! Not today. Denied. Stellwagen, St. Leo commit. That's a huge save going into the half. Maybe bring some momentum.
But it is a big first half, especially for Smithtown East. The boys were coming. He's not LeBron, but he's Cam James. Big half for him.
1 save, 2 saves, 3 saves, 4. Make that 10 for Carroll in the first half.
Smithtown East with the lead here at the half. You're watching the Suffolk Class A quarterfinals in the Varsity Media Sports Network. Pole goal, yes! A man down pole goal as well. Busking, the skip somehow found its way through. BTB and a save.
At the buzzer, we had
The Long Island Lacrosse Showcase is the premier opportunity for the high school players from Long Island to be recognized for their lacrosse skills. For over a decade, This event has been widely recognized as the premier event for exposure before college coaches of all levels. Players showcase their abilities while competing to earn a spot to represent their county in the Long Island Showcase Nassau versus Suffolk Games. Hosted in collaboration with the high school lacrosse coaches of Nassau and Suffolk counties, the Long Island Lacrosse Showcase had over 90 college coaches attend various rounds of the showcase. Make sure to register today.
Two-man game.
Nice save up high.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Back here at Connetquot High School, it is the Suffolk Class A quarterfinals, and it is Smithtown East with the halftime lead. We welcome you into our booth, and Soap, we said we'd have a special guest with us.
Yeah, all in the family.
I sent a quick text. I said you want to jump on, and Tyler Moore was gracious enough to join us. So it's been a long time since I've done the disclaimer, but I got to put the disclaimer out there, right? We are family, we're related, but no favoritism here today.
Didn't even give him the questions.
I didn't. No, not yet. That's right. I thought about texting the questions. I'm going to let him sweat a little bit. Tyler, first off, back on campus. You're here a lot, especially in the off season, right? You train some players as well, but when you come back here, I'm sure some of the memories start coming in. What are some of your? I know this matchup is one of your least favorites from a couple of years ago, but what are some of your kind of favorite memories when you think back to your days as a T-Bird?
Just being out here with the guys, watching these guys connect at practice the other day when I was there. It's just, there's nothing like high school lacrosse when you're with your guys in high school and in the locker room. And and then coming home to see all this new stuff built, it's just great that Connetquot's been able to expand a bunch of things.
Now at St. Joe's, right? Suffolk County Class A is known as some of the best lacrosse in the entire country. How do you feel like playing the Class A schedule in Suffolk helped prepare you for college at St. Joe's? Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams have like 3, 4 plus guys going D1 or D2, like top level. So it's almost getting used to the fast pace that the college level is experienced, and it's just going against the best guys is just what you look for when you want to expand your lacrosse level and IQ. So just playing against the top guys, being guarded by the top guys, it's all you can ask for.
Had the opportunity this year to step on the field after redshirting last year, scored your first goal down at Duke, had a good chunk of time running with that first midfield. What'd you think of the first year on the field this year with St. Joe's?
Yeah, I feel it was great. I mean, being able to make an impact on the field is different than just being on the bench and making an impact that way vocally. but doing both is something that is just you can't imagine. So being able to play this year and make an impact and get the experience of that fast-paced college level, something I can hold on to and use towards next year, and just build by that.
So, seniors, right? You got Jaffairs, you got Terracino. They're about to make that jump into the D1 ranks. And, any advice, right, for those guys to make that jump to the D1 level?
These guys have been playing for a while now. They've been pulled up since the 8th or 9th grade. So they've been around being guarded by the second, third guy, and now they're getting the one guy. I feel like these guys are built for it and ready. And they've been preparing all year long, and I feel like they'll make an impact as soon as they get in.
And then meanwhile, Brett Jaffair says he loves the young talent. Mentioned Lucas Raniello as part of that as well. So the family tree continues here at Connetquot.
Yep, it's awesome to see that the family tree is something to build here. And then he takes them under his wing and just takes care of them and tries to build them up as the years come, because they'll need it in a few years. They're going to be the guy next up.
That's what you did with AJ as well. You brought him under his wing, and now he's doing that with the next. That's kind of what you do in high school lacrosse.
It's like the T-Bird Nation type of tribute to each other.
All right, listen, we'll put before we let you go, we'll put your coaching hat on a little bit, right? Because you're gonna get into that a little bit this summer. What'd you think of the first half? What adjustments do you think need to be made here in the second half?
I just feel it came out slow, Smithtown East, when you're down there on the bleachers, you could hear the energy, you could feel it. They're playing the zone right now. I feel like man-to-man could make a difference in this game. Why not try it? And I just think the offense needs to get a pace going. They're playing that zone, move the ball quicker than just lofting it around, and then maybe we'll see a change and a couple goals get in the back of the net.
Also, this guy's going to be a big Syracuse fan this weekend.
There we go, T-Mac.
Root for his boys. Tyler squared in that one as well. Tyler Moore, Connetquot All-American. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck, my man.
Second half coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any team looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash! What a way to end the third quarter.
Look at this. Merrill. No slide. No problem. Gary Merrill goes top corner.
Varsity Media offers sports coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Back here at Connetquot High School, Dylan Butler, Brian Soper, second half about to begin. So let's take a quick look at the first half stats. What jumps off there for you?
Face-offs have been even. I just think it's about the possessions, the ability for Smithtown to get really good looks and find those seams in the zone. That's what gives them a 9-4 lead. You see shots are pretty even. Some really good saves by both goalies. 10 saves for Carroll. 0 for 1 Connetquot on the man up. I just think that the start of the second half is really important for Connetquot. Got to get the first 2 goals to chip away at this lead.
Well, you heard a moment ago, right, from maybe future Coach Moore. Thinks maybe quick jump into man, right? A different look defensively might help out.
The score definitely dictates that. It's hard to sit back sometimes when you dig yourself a hole. So it's going to be interesting to see, and possessions are going to be at a premium for Connetquot.
So the opening face-off goes.
They listen, man-to-man. Little raftery man-to-man. Definitely pushing out. James has a shorty.
Yeah, it's Insinga on him.
Insinga's a junior. Looked to slide early.
And that's where that was coming. Little hitch. Now these Bulls have seen Connetquot in man. They played that against Lindenhurst in that regular season ending loss. Lefty shot in the finish. Cracchiola, his third.
His speed is a problem. His ability to get to that left hand at will. kind of little, doesn't use the pick, but it perhaps distracts him. Really strong end of the half by Cracchiola. Picks right up where he left off against the man-to-man.
Smithtown East, as we said it, right? You lose to Connetquot. That was on, what, May 2nd? May 6th. And from that point on, they have won each game they played. Riverhead, Longwood, Sachem North.
It's been really tough, right? Pellegrino's been good on the wings, right? Reddock's been really good at the face-off X. You see Jafares gets caught. He plays defense on Cracchiola that last time. Listen, he's a great player, but he's not Superman, right? It's hard to play that much defense, face-off, and offense.
Brody Ritter, some stats from the first half. James was all over it. Good look to the cage, and the finish by 2-7, Teddy Barada.
Yeah, Barada, he's in his left hand. He just like, no one's going to slide. I'm going to bury it near side. Scrapes the paint on the ground. Little celly for Teddy. Everything's going right now if you're the Smithtown East Bulls.
Yeah, the junior, second goal of the game, 27th of the year. And that's a little bit of the situation there, right? You play zone most of the year. You go into man. It's about individual matchups then. And so far on these 2 goals, Smithtown East has won those.
And we haven't seen a slide, right? They're playing man-to-man, and they've allowed 2 ball carriers just to get unassisted goals, both of them. You know, that Hills game, although a loss, I think it gave him a lot of confidence. Again, the winner of this is going to play Hills.
Blandina got that face-off win. The scoop and the shot wide by Turricini.
You know, they have balanced scoring, Smithtown. They got skilled poles. They have a great goalie. They've been really good at the X. That's a great recipe for a win in the playoffs.
And this was a close game early. Right, it was 2-0 early for Smithtown, 4-2. Then Connetquot came back, but it's been a run for seemingly a while here. And a much-needed possession here for the T-Birds. That's Turricini. Slide comes his way, fed the crease, and then Carroll picked it up. He tried to get it, it looked like, to Luca, and we go the other way.
Yeah, the balls in Turricini's stick a lot.
Pole goal! Pellegrino!
Yeah, turnover leads to early offense. Carroll finds Pellegrino. Is Pellegrino like a sparkling water?
It is,
yeah.
yes.
Well, that was a sparkling goal by him. Little fancy water action, but unbelievable job taking it to the coast to coast. His 9th goal on the year.
I literally thought of that as I was trying to say my next line after the goal.
Yeah, Pellegrino is just a really good high school lacrosse player. Going to do great things at Manhattan. He's a disruptor with a great stick. You know, was a football guy. Shoulder injury kept him out this year in the fall. Perhaps a more rested Pellegrino means really good things for this Smithtown club.
But think about it again, right? Let's look at their close D. In Pellegrino, you've got 8 goals and 3 assists. Brody Bernhardt, 3 goals, 3 assists. Brock Bernhardt, 2 goals and 2 assists. Troy Rest, the LSM, 1 goal and 4 assists.
You add ground balls plus cause turnovers, right? The ability to not only get the ball on the ground but clear it and create transition. That means a lot of goals for James, Di Maria, Barada, and the boys.
Jafares! He just willed that ball into the net.
Just a great player. You know, looking to take the T-Birds on his back. Just runs through checks. He's a check eater. Great shot to the low corner. Just does everything. You know, you run out of superlatives for a guy like that. Just does it all. St. John's is really getting a great one. Really going to look forward to following his career there. But he hopes his career continues with a big comeback.
And, of course, you mentioned before, right, Kieran McCardle playing a 3-time All-American at St. John's, part of the PLL, and more recently you had Jack McCarthy, Tyler McCarthy's older brother, at St. John's, now part of the coaching staff here.
Yeah, you got to get more guys touches, right? We haven't called Nick Luca, talented sophomore, Nico Fitzgerald. How about Nico Fitzgerald? His dad, right, John, played on the Smithtown East lacrosse team in '91 that got to the county final.
There's now Logan Cordes.
Rooting for his kid now in the T-Bird jersey.
You got to figure sometime after this game, Cordes. Listen, school's off here for Memorial Day, so you figure Cordes will
ship up to Boston.
Yep. To watch his brother and a host of other Long Island guys with Syracuse.
How electric was that at Hofstra? That was amazing. We need a petition. We need a Final Four at Hofstra.
What a look! Turricini to Blandina.
Yeah, Turricino, he's a hooper. He averaged 5 assists on the year with 21 points. Goes a little alley-oop. Great catch in one motion. You see the talent on Blandina. All the attention goes to Turricini. That's 30 goals for Blandina. The future. T-Bird, right? The future's now for Tyler Blandina.
And a timeout called, and you can see there a moment ago, Jafar's, AJ that is, getting his guys pumped up as they're sensing perhaps the spark of a comeback here.
I mean, momentum's a crazy thing. We had Nick game last night. I almost turned it off. Huge comeback, right? Looking to make a similar one if you're the T-Birds.
This is the first playoff meeting between these two schools since the semifinals in 2023. And in that game, it was Smithtown East with an 11-10 win over Connetquot. Garrett Mengels scored the game winner with 3 minutes left. We mentioned James and DiMaria with 5 goals between them. The Bulls that year, like they are now, were the 5 seed, but that was the top-seeded T-Birds of Connetquot. They won the regular season. They had both Tyler Moore and Tyler McCarthy leading the way, but Smithtown East, it was an upset road to get to the final. They did so by winning here against the T-Birds.
But to put Terracini's career into perspective, over 200 points. Tyler McCarthy is the leading scorer of all time with 264 points. So Terracini, right, he's not done yet, but what a career for him in the T-Bird jersey.
He'd love to get a few more today and continue, and just a prolific scorer, Carson Terracini.
But that's what Class A, you say 1 seed, 5 seed. That's the thing about Suffolk A. It's always so competitive that sometimes it just comes down to matchups and who matches up well in the goal or the face-off X and things like that.
And to your point, right, the Bulls, as they continue to run, Reddock with the goal.
Unbelievable job on the face-offs, getting possessions, runs by, slides too late. Reddock's 11th goal on the year. Been doing it all. Coach Huff says he's been scoring lately. Yeah, he has, right? Huge goal, maybe taking some of that momentum away from Connetquot.
But to your point about matchups, right, Smithtown East has, in the playoffs at least, right, we could see been a thorn in Connetquot's side. Same true for Northport, like Smithtown East. Northport's been a little bit of their boogeyman, if you will. Wing play involved. GB, that one thrown away. A rare turnover for Smithtown East.
It was the freshman, Matt Passarello. You see his ability, very capable, called up early in the year. Has a real good bond with Troy Rest. That's a good combo, sophomore, freshman. Kind of been rooting each other on all year.
Here's Blandina. Jafar is calling for the ball. Blandina surrounded.
It's a freshman, folks. Great check.
And Smithtown gets the ball.
Bernard's just looked different with that long pole coming down.
There's Devlin. Talk about balance for this game, right? DiMaria with 3, Barada 2-1, James 3-3, Devlin with 1-1, Cracchiola with 3, Reddock with 1, and then you get the pole goal from Pellegrino.
Shutting off James at X. Seems content with hanging back there. Why not? They've been able to beat their matchups.
Lefty shot by Ritter.
Stellwagen might have gotten a piece of that.
Yeah, it must have, because they reset it to 60. So his first save of the second half. There's James. James.
Yeah, James on Weaver, 2 guys we highlighted in the open.
Di Maria. Back to James. He'll set the pick. James goes the other way, though. Kick out. Goes way up top. Got 2 guys fishing out at midfield, over and back, so it'll be Connetquot ball.
Yeah, look to push this if you can.
And it's Turricini with the ball. Short stick on him, so he wants to try to maybe exploit that, although it's a good one in Cracchiola.
Yeah. Terracini's got really good size.
Goes to his left. Turricini downhill. Peels back with Mount Pellegrino on him.
Good stick.
And Singa. Oh, force that feed. Turnover, Connetquot.
Yeah, and Singa, nice job getting to the cage. Just throws it away. He has the ability to attack the right matchups. Just trying to get it to Terracini there.
A year ago, Nsinga scored a buzzer beater against Northport.
Has that knack of scoring big goals. You know, perhaps next time, maybe Connetquot can juice up the ride a little bit. You're gonna have to create possessions. This game's shrinking on the T-Birds.
Again, winner of this one, perhaps facing top-seeded and undefeated Hills. Lefty shot, Stellwagen, the save. Quick outlet the other way. Great ground ball picked up by Blandina.
Yeah, you see the wheels, the ability.
And then the finish by Jaffairs.
That release is ridiculous. Great job by Blandina. Good save by Stellwagen. Quick outlet pass. Blandina picks up the loose change. Snap. Just real quick release. Get to that left hand. Get to the middle. Bury it.
It's a different mechanism, but I'd imagine going through the face-offs, you get those wrists getting strong, right? And you can see that a little bit with AJ Jaffairs.
Yeah, his ball goes in. You know, he's got a hard, heavy shot. Accurate. Good job. Come on, Weaver.
He's got it. Weaver, the feed. It's on the ground.
Good GB by Nick Luca.
Luca kicks it back.
Gotta be White.
Jaffairs, you know he's coming up with that one.
Yeah, he's got the spoon stick, though. I don't know if he can shoot with that one.
He hands off to Turricini. Turricini denied by Carroll.
Huge save. Terracini looking to attack. Just love how smooth Carroll catches that ball.
11th save. Look at this. We're going to go fast, maybe a little bit too fast, as Ritter tried to find Barada. Turnover, Smithtown East. Interesting, neither team really getting into the riding game.
Yeah, Smithtown's okay with the deep ride there. They're up 6. They're okay with their 6-on-6 defense. Don't want to create any transition. I look for Connetquot maybe to start to rev up some sort of ride.
Going to rev up the offense here is Jaffairs. A look inside, and denying Luca was Carroll.
The last line of defense, future Drexel Dragon. That's the IQ, Dill. His ability to be patient, to read the head of the stick, to pounce on the ground. There's not a shot he hasn't seen. He's confident. He will read your stick for days.
now another failed clear offside for Smithtown. And listen, if there's a window of opportunity, it's now for Connetquot. Here's Nsinga. Look out from behind. Nsinga hunted from Brody Bernhardt.
He's known for his kills in volleyball. He's hunting.
Blandino lost it. GB picked up, though. Connetquot maintains possession.
Got to spin the rock, get it moving, keep it hot.
Terracini.
Make them rotate.
Jaffar's to his left. Terracini, bouncer. A little bit too high there. Backup was there, 30 on the shot clock. 13-7 the score, 2:32 left, quarter number 3. Fitzgerald.
Slide with at least 2 guys here.
The help is coming, Terracini. As here comes Jaffar's. Tries to feed the crease, knockdown. Believe that was Brock Bernhardt.
Yeah, this 22nd caused turnover for Brock this year.
Now the Bulls are moving quick. 1, 2, tic-tac-toe, goal, and the foul. Barada the finish.
Little Bohemian Rhapsody there for Smithtown. Unbelievable, unselfish play. James to Di Maria to Barada. Unselfish lacrosse.
And this is going to be a locked-in penalty.
Yeah, Devlin took a hit.
I think that was John Guido who's in the box. I think it was a head shot. So now you could tack on here if you are Smithtown East with the top defender. And watch 17 right there. There's that high cross check to Devlin.
Yeah, stood in there, Devlin, take a hit. Started on the other end, right? Brock Bernhardt, the freshman. Great check on the feed to the crease by Jaffar's. Creates a run out.
Oh, man down face off. Blandina by himself there. Look at Pellegrino coming the other way. Pellegrino to James. Wide open. James off the bar.
Apologize to that crossbar, Cam. Good timeout.
Yeah, timeout for Smithtown. 1:37 left. They're up 14-7. Some really good players collegiately for both of these programs. First, show you some of those next level guys for the Bulls of Smithtown East.
Yeah, Ryan Rooney, Sacred Heart. Right, Mangles at Sacred Heart. What a great year they had. Wertheim at Brown, DeSano, Stony Brook, Babson, Trebbing, Smithtown, right? The long legacy of great players. Connor DeSimone, Gerard Asari, Brian Willits, John D'Angelis. Smithtown sends guys to the big time.
Let me take a look at some of the next level guys for Connetquot.
Yeah, go Orange, right? Big Final Four weekend for them. Tyler Moore, I think I just saw him. Or someone looks like him, right? Kyle Cochran, LIU, right? Joe Doyle, Connetquot, unbelievable. We mentioned McCardle. How about Mike Pellegrino, right? Not only did he tear it up for Johns Hopkins, right? He's on the Patriots staff. Zach Oliveri was a great goalie. The T-Birds and the Bulls sending guys all over the place.
You mentioned those guys for Smithtown before, right? DeSimone, Arceri, Willits, D'Angelis, all part of those first 2 championships. Now, again, listen, for Smithtown, you have to understand it was like Sachem, it was 1, right? So it was Smithtown Central, and then you fracture to Smithtown West, Smithtown East, and then you come back again, you fracture again. But for just Smithtown East, you've got 2 championships. They happened in back-to-back years. In 2014, they beat West Islip. 15-7, and then that incredible overtime win. I remember it well from Stony Brook against Ward Melville, 11-10. And so when you talk about Suffolk big boy lacrosse, man, Ward Melville, that's the Garden City of Suffolk out here. West Islip, of course, under Scotty Craig, had an incredible run as well.
Yeah, the winner of this game faces the winner of, like, Melville's kind of like the old the standard that's been around forever. A little bit of a down year for them in terms of record-wise, but they're still Ward Melville. And then you got Hills, who's just lighting up the scoreboard, scoring close to 20 goals a game.
Anthony Rayo leading that charge, heading to North Carolina with his close friend Gary Merrill.
Yeah, he broke Long
Island's all-time record.
Galasso's record, who was a West Islip great. Again, another Class A killer in Suffolk.
And then a few days later, beat Cohen's record from Syosset, so he's now Long Island's all-time public school scoring leader. So final 14 seconds of the third quarter. Blandina lowers his shoulder, gets surrounded by Bulls. Pellegrino, the steal.
You got the brothers Bernhardt.
Sends it the length of the field. And Smithtown East. I think a San Pellegrino is the sparkling water you were referring to.
There you go.
But this is a sparkling finish by 33.
Yeah, takes a hit, shoots it down low. Everything going right for Smithtown. Bulls are running.
3 quarters in the books. It's the Suffolk Class A quarterfinals, and that's on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Back at Connetquot, so we take a look at some of the future college players out of Smithtown. A lot of them there for the Bulls.
Yeah, Carroll going to Drexel. We see Cortland had a great year this year, made a run. Manhattan, unbelievable place to go to school. Yale, Florida Southern, the Mocs, right? The venomous cottonmouth snakes, right? The Smithtown's been pretty venomous today with their ability to control the middle of the field and share the ball and have a lot of unselfish plays on offense.
So the Bulls looking to do what they did a couple of years ago as the 5 seed come out of Connetquot with a win. Flag is thrown, and another one as well. And now there's a T-Bird who is down on the field. So let's see what the officials have here.
Yeah, Blandina is on the ground. Looks like he'll be all right.
This will be a 1-minute cross check. Another look, so.
That's a slash. So this will be on the same guy. That's my guess. 2 fouls on Pellegrino.
So an opportunity here for the Connetquot man-up unit. They were 0 for 1 earlier. That was only a 30-second man-up. Now they'll be up at least for a minute.
Yeah, Smithtown's been really good on man down this year. You know, that kill probably has them over 80%. That's great man down defense if you're Smithtown.
So Connetquot, a team that averages just about 12.5 goals a game. They need to go above that average if they want to get out of this one alive. Here's Luca Feed to Jafairs. He'll operate from X here at the man up. Gets the ball. Spins there. Looks for options. Jafairs, can he get the inside roll? Jafairs! Man up goal!
Sometimes your best option is to do it yourself. Might have been a man up, but number 6 says, I'm about to man up. His 5th goal on the game for number 6. Whoop. Yeah, a little inside roll, tuck your stick, bury the rock. Senior ain't done yet.
Well, it's 14-8 now. Blandina out to take this face off.
This is where you got to earn your possessions. Red Hawk has not made it easy for Connetquot.
How about this matchup on this near side wing, right? It's Weaver and Pellegrino, but Reddick wins it himself. Goes to Di Maria and Stellwagen, a tremendous save.
Huge save, quick pitch.
Gets it to Blandina.
Denied up top, great save by Colton.
Pellegrino on him. Blandina again, lowers the shoulder. Ooh, takes a shot, and that's a flag.
Yeah, went for a little kayak.
Step down. Another great save by Carroll, denying Turricini, but another man-up opportunity for the T-Birds.
If you're Connetquot, that's the spot you like to see Pellegrino in the box. Went for a little kayak, takeaway check.
And a 1-minute slash again. Another look soap.
Yeah, here it comes. They throw the butt end check coming. Whoop.
It's a no-no. So they capitalize on their last man-up opportunity. It was A.J. Jafairs with his 5th goal. And if they can get one here, 14-9 game. And they try to chip away.
Kind of starting a 2-2 look.
Now it's Cordes at X. Comes back around. It's that wheel action we saw earlier. The force inside and the finish!
Yeah, I think you got Blandina from the top, that trigger spot. Finds Terracini. Just kind of wills this ball in, like gets deflected, gets a piece. Carroll finds the back of the net. Just keeps on scoring, takes a lick, keeps on ticking.
2-2 in this game for Turricini. Those 4 points now give him 83 on the season.
Yeah, senior captain. 50 goals last year.
But Reddock again wins it to himself.
That's a huge one. That's a huge win. All the momentum is going the way of the T-Birds. Must stop if you're Connetquot.
And there's Ritter.
How big was that save by Stellwagen? Robbed one, and you got one on the other end.
And it popped up in the air like that Halliburton shot at the end, and he was able to get it.
Still the same, nothing but net, right into that big net.
Big possession in this one. It's Barada.
Man to man.
He's got Faraka on him.
You know, shading James.
Here comes James, swims on Nsinga, feeds it. Quick Devlin, the second look, and that one was wide. And man, did Cracchiola want that one. You could see him bouncing up and down, right? Thought he had it.
Yeah, 8 seconds on the shot clock.
So here's Di Maria. Pahorlik on him. 3, 2, the feed. Knocked down.
Gotta go. Get it out quick.
And here's Stellwagen.
Run, baby.
Quick outlet to the pole. That's Guido. Here comes Luca. Steps in, shot clock starts. They'll roll it back to the captain. A.J. Jaffairs. 5 goals on this game for Jaffairs.
6-on-6 here. Terracini setting a high screen.
And it's going to be 6-on-6. Bernhardt on Jaffairs.
UMass Lowell versus St. John's.
Jaffairs gets topside. The feed inside, but Carroll with the takeaway.
Yeah, tough feed. You know, that's a really difficult one when you're fading away. Perhaps if you're the attackman, you got to climb a little bit to make that easier. Just an unfortunate turnover.
Tried to find Fitzgerald, but a great stick check on the other side, and that's Guido.
Yeah, the Smithtown staff, like we've been living in the box. Where's the trip?
And now it's Torresini!
Yeah, Smithtown, you gotta regroup. They wanted a trip on that side. Leads to a run out. Terracino on a fast break. He's used to that. 21 points a game in hoops. His 3rd goal of the game, 3-2. Another senior.
Prolific scorer, Carson Torresini, another captain as well for this team.
4-goal game, Dill.
Jaffairs, Weaver.
Got to stop this guy. You got to somehow box him out. Don't let him win it clean. Get your wings in there. Scrap out a GB. Maybe use a timeout if you get possession.
And it's Blandina. Can't get it from Reddock. Every face-off that he's needed to get in the second half, Reddock has gotten.
Good check. John Guido. What a scoop up by the sophomore, Troy Ress.
Now the look in the crease and the finish. A huge goal for Smithtown East. Reddock.
Are you kidding me, Dill? It takes stones. There's a freshman with this feed with a pole. Matt Passarello. Pole assist. Are you kidding me, freshman? Throwing that in there? What a catch. Scoring lately, yeah, I think so. How about winning every faceoff and scoring? Jack Reddick.
Passarello, a guy, it was Ress's job at LSM, but then Passarello was brought up, and actually it made Ress better as an LSM, because now he's got another guy to maybe push him, to give him that rest when he needed it. And Reddock, another face-off win.
Yeah, 2 goals for him in the second half.
Di Maria. Reddock slow to get up.
I mean, that's one of those passes when he's about to throw it, you're a coach, you're like, no, no, no. And then he throws it, you connect, you're like, that was the best pass I've ever seen. Love it. I love the confidence on the freshman to make that look.
What a big moment for the Bulls as well, right? 15-10 now, all the momentum, as you said, was going for the T-Birds.
You know, Reddick took a big hit there. I think, you know, they're on their officials. I think it's a little bit of maybe, you know, wanting a flag, but also I think Reddick, you got to be careful putting yourself into some of those positions.
Here's James. A matchup nightmare. No goal. Crease violation.
Yeah, those two together, James and Di Maria.
Back to Stellwagen.
Yeah, got to get this up and out.
Look out for James. And there's Torresini.
Got to go.
The senior. Torresini navigates. Gets it to Nsinga up front. Now Jaffairs. Gets topside. Lowers the shoulder. Finds Torresini. Tucks under. Great save by Carroll. The rebound. No goal, but there's a flag.
Wow, back-to-back crease violations on goals. This is a great job. Wow, there's just so many lines there. It's hard to tell. Which one's the crease? Blue? Definitely lands in it, right? Blue. So it was a great job. Jaffairs dodged. You know, they slid adjacent. He hit Terracini, who went underneath.
Wow, so a double whammy against Connetquot. Not only is the goal called off, the flag is waved off as well.
Hey, whether you like the call or not, I love that the refs got together, they had a discussion, and came to a consensus.
Here's Devlin. Carroll. We've not seen it yet, but he does have that green light if he wants. So athletic is Carroll. He can cross that line, and you don't need to take a timeout for him.
Yeah, good job by the freshman carrying it over. You know,
now it's a loose ball.
Coach McFarland, you know, who's the assistant coach here, he's no stranger to being a head coach. 2014, he took Locust Valley Lacrosse to a county championship, and he said that this group of Poles are the best handling group he's ever had.
So Di Maria was pushed down from behind. It'll be a 30-second penalty. I believe it was Weaver called for it. So now 15-10, the lead for Smithtown. I think the 30 seconds right now means more for the Bulls, and you have 60 on the game clock, or excuse me, on the shot clock. So you don't need a man-up goal here. You could take the possession, take the 60 seconds. They work to X to James.
Anthony Belacco out there on man down, the junior defender.
Oh, what a move. Wow, Cracciola.
Yeah, it's still in his left hand, but we've seen him mix it up a little bit with this move. He goes left hand underneath. His 4th goal of the game. Right, little swim underneath, protect your stick, bang it to the corner. 7 having an absolute monster game. Campbell, Cracciola.
Man-up goal for the Bulls. So never mind what I was saying. He will take the man-up goal and the 6-goal lead inside of the final 6 minutes of regulation.
Just love that move, right? You know, as a coach myself, you look at that, you're like, all right, left hand, right, likes to get to middle. Now he throws the under move. Now you give somebody, you know, something to think about as they make an approach on Campbell.
And now a face-off win. Good to see Reddock back out there.
Yeah, he's been the MVP for Smithtown.
And that was an even battle. Even the edge early went to Jaffairs.
First 2, right?
Yeah. Little shovel opportunity from Barada.
Yeah, look to pick up the, you know, you got to take some chances if you're Connetquot.
And James buries it. His 4th.
Yeah, just getting it done. You have Cam James, you have Cracciola. Just too much. Getting to that left hand. Both lefties are absolutely killing Connetquot. No slide, gets top side. Just too lethal of a shooter with that left hand. Absolutely making a living on that 20-yard line hash.
And you mentioned the goals against. Right now it's the 3rd straight game that Connetquot has given up a big number.
It's just really hard to win. You have to be so good on offense, you know, giving up 17 a game.
Horlick out there battling for that loose ball, and it will go to the T-Birds. And Singa. You said they've got to go. The biggest win in Connetquot history actually happened against Smithtown East. You go back a few years, right? 2016, they beat Smithtown East in overtime to reach their first ever county final. They lost in that county final to Ward Melville. Some of the stars of that one, George Wachellins, Matty Oles, the Grippo boys, GQ and Colin, Danny Lewis, The long pole.
Just showing off now, Dill.
Well, I was literally there.
I know you were.
It was out at the old, remember the old, like, that Dowling sports complex, that great little facility?
Yeah.
It was out there. And a huge win. And then you go to Stony Brook, you lose in the first ever county final. So Connetquot still chasing that. Let's take a look at some of their college commits. We mentioned Jaffairs, Stellwagen going to St. Leo's.
How about Guido going to Malloy, their first ever NCAA bid this year. 15-14 OT win against Pace, eventually falling to Adelphi, who's in another national championship. Terracini, Iona recruiting the island very, very hard. And Lucas Weaver going to Lincoln Memorial following Fitzgibbon, the goalie from last year. I did a little research on Lincoln Memorial.
All right, let's see. What do you got?
You know the nickname?
The Mud Hens.
Rail Splitters.
I was close, like Lincoln High School.
For Lincoln, right? Lincoln, the old, the cutting the logs, right? 1860 used that in the election. The university was founded in 1897 on what would have been Lincoln's 88th birthday.
Great.
Tennessee.
But Guido, you mentioned going to Malloy, right? He'll join a few of his former T-Bird teammates there as well. Aiden DeLiso and Mr. Dinnigan as well.
Yeah, great job, Coach Dunn. Way to get that first playoff win.
Feet to the crease. Where is it? Did not cross the goal line.
A little ricochet, it looked like. Look at these poles handle. Who needs middies?
And again, that's a little bit, I think you give some credit to the former head coach, Rob Campbell, right? A guy from British Columbia, bringing that box mentality, and that one scooped around, loose ball, but he brought some of the boys, but the Bernhardt boys especially, right? Playing some box lacrosse.
Yeah, I mean, he's a freshman out here. If you wanted some entertainment, go see Brock Bernhardt in the summer playing with other freshmen. It's kind of unfair at times.
You'll count that goal. Likely they'll wave this flag off, but that was Blandina.
Yeah, Blandina, just the future, right? He's the future of the T-Birds. You see the speed. Takes a hit in the back by Brody. Bernhardt.
It was Blandina. I thought for a second it might have been Turacini, but there's 2-7.
Just an absolute nose for the goal.
So 17-11 now the score.
Facing off with the pole now. Looks like Lucas Weaver.
Yep. Yeah, Weaver and Guido are the two guys.
I like that. Make him go back, make him scoop, little pressure, double pole. Nice check by Brody.
And Guido pushes it ahead. Nice scoop. And the foul as well. I think Pellegrino's going to do just fine at Manhattan. So it'll be a 30-second push against the Bulls. Connetquot back man up.
Great strategy. You know, maybe a little bit too late, right? Going with the pole on the face-off. At least it made Reddock go back, made him have to scoop a tough ground ball. I like that. I like that adjustment by Coach Jaffairs.
Yeah, Coach Jaffairs isn't certainly thinking about it right now, but maybe Dad Jaffairs thinking about the end of this run of coaching his son. Of course, right now you're in game mode, right? You want to try to get back. You need a goal. Here's Turacini. Turacini!
Yeah, just a really great offensive player. He can score in so many different ways. You just see his ability here. You respect his outside shooting game. He goes underneath, little old school face dodge. No one comes to him. Absolutely annihilates that corner, top right. Impossible for a lefty goalie to get there.
His 56th of the year. And again, right, out of necessity, you go back and double pole. Here it's Guido on the face-off.
Tie him up, get your wings in. Check, check, whack, whack.
Little kick going forward. Still loose.
Good job by Rest, getting it going forward.
Nice spin move by Faraka. We can go the other way now.
Just been a little bit off, right? Those passes all day. Right looks, just a little bit off. Especially in transition and sometimes off of those two-man games.
Barada. What do we got? Oh, we're going to go the other way. Connetquot trying to get goals in a hurry. They wish it was the PLL where you can maybe get some of those outside shots.
Yeah, 2-point goals or the old rock and jock 10-point goals. But, hey, that's Passarello with a takeaway check on Nsinga. Really impressive second half for the freshman.
Pellegrino, no, says Stellwagen.
I love that, just pedal to the metal, Di Maria finding Pellegrino. But I know the staff of Smithtown's like, just hold the rock.
And up and down we go. Spin move. Fitzgerald, saved by Carroll.
Carroll says no to Nico. Nico lock.
And the game's gotten kind of frenetic here in the final minute. Trying to spin there. Perhaps looking for another pole goal.
Yeah.
Rest.
Yeah, that's, you know, those are sophomores and freshmen getting time. Go to the old circle offense, kill this thing.
That's Di Maria going to X. Final 15 seconds. Smithtown East will come to Connetquot for the second time in the last 3 years and leave Bohemia with a playoff victory.
Yeah, you score 17 goals, you're not going to lose too many ball games.
Did you see Carroll at the end there too, where Guido just sends it? I don't think it was even going to count. His stick was down. It was like, I'm still making the save. It's not getting past me.
Yeah, he's got like radar, you know. Ball just always finds Carroll. Great job by the senior.
So congratulations to the Bulls. They move on to the semifinals. We don't have scores here, but we suspect likely against top-seeded Hills. And man, if Smithtown could score like that and Hills can score the way they can score, that will be some ridiculous high-scoring affair. It's the end of the line here for Connetquot. They end at 12-5, and listen, you think about the seniors in moments like this: Carson Turricini, AJ Jaffairs, Logan Cortis,
Stellwagen,
Weaver, Guido as well. They did their part as putting their stamp on this Connetquot lacrosse lineage.
Yeah, and Coach Jaffairs can go back to being dad, right, and go watch
out to Union Turnpike and the corner of Union and Utopia.
You can give him all the spots, Dill. You know all the good spots around there.
Well, he does too. He's a St. John's guy. I don't have to tell him. He knows.
What a great, being on St. John's campus must be electric right now with Patino and all the things that are going on there. What a great place to go to school.
So tough end for Connetquot, but the Bulls, they are marching on. 11-6 on the season, and Smithtown East perhaps taking on the big dogs in Hills.
They had the lead at half, 8-7, right? They have confidence. Can the Bulls run with Hills?
Well, the Bulls were running today, especially King James.
High, low, doesn't matter. Elite shooter, step in, stinging corners. Pellegrino, pole goal, and the last line of defense.
Jaffairs, though, and Turricini making sure they've got a run left in them.
2 goals by Reddock, dominating possessions.
And the Bulls are marching on to the semifinals. Congratulations to Smithtown East. For our entire Varsity Media crew, for our executive producer Ben Turchin, technical director Chris Sweeney, for our camera operators and Brian Soper, Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Connetquot High School. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Varsity Media Sports Network.